Hello and welcome back to the Tungsten Wire. As always, we appreciate you being here. Today we're going to talk about Sudan and more specifically about Al-Fashir. The crisis in Sudan is one of the worst in the world right now. And while most of us here in the West, like United Kingdom, Canada, America, so on, while we're focused on Palestine, this is unfolding in Sudan and it's one of the worst crises we've ever seen. Now, I'm not saying that we should ignore Gaza. Of course not. Never. And obviously, because of our direct involvement in Gaza, it makes the headlines. It makes the headlines more often, right? And I mean, still not enough, but we see more of Gaza because of our direct involvement. We see more protests because of our direct involvement, as in the Canadian government or American government's direct involvement in Gaza, compared to Sudan. But what is happening in Sudan needs to be spoken about because not enough people are speaking about it. I'm seeing people make videos and they don't get any numbers. And look, I'm probably not going to get a lot of views. I never get any views anyways. I think we've been doing this just under a year and we've only just hit 70,000 channel views. I mean, which, by the way, thank you. That's amazing for us. But even if 10 people see this video and, out of those 10, three of them learn something new about this or are made aware of this, then it was all worth it. So, yeah, that's why we're doing it. Now, before we get into the article, and the article is kind of heavy, by the way, just letting you know. But yeah, before we get into it, please, if you end up liking this video, give us a like. And if you feel like it, please subscribe. It really helps us in the algorithm. We also have a Substack. It hasn't been updated just because of the holidays and whatnot, but it will be. We will still have content coming out on that, articles and whatnot. It's at thetungstenwire.com. That's thetungstenwire.com. Anyway, so let's get into this article, and let me first fix that. Okay, there we go. So Sudan's Al-Fashir under the RSF destroyed and full of bodies. Updated 26 minutes ago. So when Sudanese nurse Asma returned to the Darfur city of Al-Fashir, she found only bodies where her neighbors once lived and no sign of the family she had come to save. The Rapid Support Forces, battling Sudan's military since 2023, seized the army's last stronghold in Darfur on October 26th in a bloody offensive marked by executions, atrocities, pillaging, and rape. By the way, I want to be very clear here. In my last video, I wasn't very clear on this. The RSF and the military are both bad guys in this. They're essentially they're both creating or they're both committing atrocities, and it's the civilians that are facing the brunt of it. So normally you can always say this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, this is the bad guy, and this is the not so bad guy, even if they are bad. No, these are both. The RSF are definitely super evil, but the Sudanese military are no saints themselves. Anyways, since then, an RSF imposed communications blackout has sealed Al-Fashir from the outside world. Little has been known since RSF fighters posted images 8 weeks ago showing mass killings that shocked the world. Now, sometimes you have to understand that there is a brutal logic to this type of violence. There's a reason that organizations like the RSF and the IDF showcase their horrific violent crimes to the world, right? It's not for our eyes. Yeah, we'll see it, but it's not for our eyes. It's for the people they are massacring and are going to massacre. It's their would-be victims, for example. It's because people that live under these brutal regimes, under this brutal oppression, the only commodity they have is their survival, right? And this is used as a way to coerce others into accepting their rule. Because it's either you get brutally murdered, like these people, right? You saw the videos, we brutally murdered these people, so you either accept us, or that happens to you, or you accept the oppression and you survive. Basically, it's a message to the people in the next town, village, or whatever, right? There's a calculated reason why this is happening. AFP managed to speak to two residents inside the city via satellite internet, collected accounts from two aid groups that gained rare access, and analyzed satellite imagery to piece together an image of Al-Fashir under the RSF. More than 106,000 people have fled Al-Fashir since the takeover, while between 70,000 and 100,000 remain trapped, according to the World Food Program. If you look at these satellite images, you're going to see mountains of bodies. You're going to see just puddles and puddles of blood in the streets. It is horrific, horrific what is happening in here. Asma fled the city on the Sunday. On the Sunday, it fell to the RSF, but was detained with 11 others near South Darfur capital Nyala and released only after paying a $3,000 ransom. It's crazy. Like, like so many people won't have, especially after living under that type of oppression, under this brutal civil war. Who's gonna? A lot of them aren't going to have $3,000. There's not a lot of people in America even that have $3,000 just sitting around ready to be used as ransom, for example. Like, it's just horrific, man. Instead of escaping for good, she went back to El Fasher and has spent 5 weeks searching for her brother-in-law, and several cousins amid reports of thousands still detained in the city. I do not know if they are detained or dead. I just keep looking in shelters, schools, everywhere, she told AFP. What she has found instead is a city terrifying and full of bodies. Her own home has been completely destroyed. Asked by a neighbor to check on his family, she entered their house and found 2 bodies inside. She recognized them as his cousins and ran in terror. They were still fresh, she said. Bro, just... You know, man, the UAE is one of the worst countries in the world. They're the ones arming the RSF who are committing these atrocities. Just... I don't have words at this point. Near her home, she saw deep burial pits, she says, that were used to erase evidence of killings. Satellite imagery analyzed by AFP corroborates her account, revealing an increased number of what looks like graves in the in what looks like graves in a 3,600 square meter area near UNICEF headquarters. Look, I can't read on the best of days, but this stuff is just... I don't know how... I do not have the mental fortitude. I can tell you this. I do not have the mental fortitude to experience a quarter of what these resilient and strong people have endured. I don't have that mental resilience. I can tell you that. Grave-shaped earth disturbances in the area controlled by the RSF since early October have continued to increase from September. What little is known about conditions in El Fasher is beyond horrific, the WFP said, citing accounts of burned bodies, abandoned markets, and roads littered with mines. A Red Crescent volunteer, speaking to AFP anonymously from the city, said his team entered El Fasher on December 4th and buried bodies scattered across streets and buildings, with new corpses reported daily. Satellite analysis from late November by Yale University's Humanitarian Research Lab revealed piles of objects consistent with human bodies being moved around, buried, and burned, with RSF forces present, its director Nathaniel Raymond told AFP. In areas once bustling with activity, streets are now empty. An analysis of recent satellite images by AFP shows no visible activity at 4 main markets across the city in mid-December, areas that were busy before the war began. Ismail, who turned to El Fasher from the nearby town of Garni 5 weeks after the takeover, described a deserted neighborhood, his home partially damaged and stripped bare. This area is completely empty. When I go out to get something, I fear for my family, Ismail told AFP, using a pseudonym for his safety. For 18 months under siege, civilians in El Fasher eked out a meager existence on animal feed and cowhide. The UN confirmed famine last month, and the city has received virtually no aid. One of the few groups granted access, Malam Darfur Peace and Development Organization, told AFP it delivered food and blankets on December 2nd, but found a severe shortage of water, food, and medicine. Doctors Without Borders teams in the refugee town of Tawila, 70 kilometers west, say they have received numerous fresh reports of kidnappings inside El Fasher and all along escape routes. The RSF wants to keep people inside, MSF Emergency Coordinator Miriam Laroussi told AFP, adding that many attempting to leave recently were forced back. Those who make it recount families paying ransoms, men tortured or shot, parents killed and children left unaccompanied, she said. The RSF has dismissed accusations as fabricated narratives, claimed it was investigating and sought to broadcast a different image of El Fasher under their rule. Oh, right. Yeah, that's great. They're going to investigate themselves and obviously find no wrong. It's like when the IDF investigates itself and always finds that either no wrong has been committed or, yeah, well, we did bomb these humanitarian workers, but it was a grave mistake. And then no sanctions, nothing happens. They essentially get away with it. It's ridiculous. In videos, they boast reconstruction campaigns, a new police station, and inspections of the city's water plant while urging residents to resume normal life. The conflict in Sudan has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced millions more, and unleashed a litany of horrors on the people of Darfur, long scarred by the atrocities committed in the early 2000s by RSF's predecessor, the Janjaweed. Oh my God, the Janjaweed militias were evil. RSF are just an extension of that. I mean, what can be said at this point? There's not much more to be said. I mean, we talked about why they are showing, why they showed their brutality. They're backed by the UAE. Why? Because the UAE wants the gold there, right? And not just the gold, right? The UAE also wants access to the Red Sea. They want access. They want that shoreline. Sudan has a huge shoreline, which has very big trade, like very big importance essentially in trade. And so if the UAE can control those trade routes, I mean, it's great for them, obviously, right? UAE, the greedy bastards that they are. I just found out that I was going to watch the boxing match today. Well, the scripted boxing match, but I think it's located. It's in Dubai, so it's in Dubai, so I'm not going to watch it. Well, I mean, I can't give these people any type of money. I know that me watching the fight will give them like at best $1, but still, what little I can do, I will do, because we need to be boycotting the UAE. And I'm not just saying, like, I'm talking to Muslims, man. We vacation there. Why? Go to Malaysia, go to Indonesia. Those are much better countries. I'm not saying they don't have their own issues, but it's way more beautiful, way better culture. Go there. The UAE backing this genocide is just absolutely horrific. As you can tell, I don't have a lot to say about this. It's horrifying. I'm gonna see if I can get. I have some Sudanese. I have friends who have friends. I guess acquaintances is the word. I have Sudanese acquaintances who I hope will become friends one day. We just don't see each other enough to become friends. I'm gonna speak to them. I want to learn more about this, and maybe I can get them on video or something. Anyways, I'm going to end that here. How long have I been going? 13 minutes. Man, I always say I'm going to do a tight 9 to 10 minute video, and it's always way over. I'm so sorry, guys. Anyways, I was going to say if you like this video, but who can like this after you talk about a town turning into a mass graveyard? You know what I mean? So yeah, at this point, thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Anyways, peace be upon you. Free Sudan, free Palestine. And I was going somewhere with this, but I forgot. Oh yeah, and boycott Israel and boycott the UAE.